for sure. When you step off the stage, I told you right when I saw you, right? I was telling everyone that night, all the comedians, like, you guys forget if you got a laugh or you didn't. The fact that you went up, you have the balls to do it. Like, that should be something that you should be utterly proud about. Because there's one thing to make a speech and speak in front of a room, right? And then there's another thing to try to evoke an emotion, which is laughter. Like, I still can't
Yeah.
believe how you guys do it. Like, I was explaining this to you, right? I'm like, it's not like you're going up there and saying a speech, right? You say a speech, some people nod, burp, leave, whatever. It doesn't matter. You said the speech. You have to get something out of it to make it worth your while, right? To make it considered successful.
Mhm.
And again, that probably takes years of craftsmanship and just constant persistence. I want to know from you though, like, how did you kind of get to this point in your career? Like, what steps did you take to ensure that? How do you kind of like handle maybe bombing or like success?
Well, it's hard for sure at the beginning, like I said, but you're always like learning. That one thing I remember from my early years of stand-up, I would do crazy amounts of mics, and I was fortunate to come into the Toronto scene where literally my first year I was doing like anywhere between 15 to 20 spots a week,
Right.
which and all like just like skateboarding around from spot to spot. You're only getting like 4 to 5 minutes on each show. And I remember like a benchmark from a podcast that I heard said like, you want to be getting at least 2 hours of stage time a week, which in 5 minute increments is
Yeah.
incredibly tough.
Yeah.
But I always like put my base and my confidence in the amount of stage time I could get. I've I was not like a natural stand-up comedian. I don't think like I come off natural now, and I've learned how to uh reveal natural parts to my personality and
Mhm.
get more comfortable on stage. But when I say like I wasn't natural, I mean I was incredibly uncomfortable on stage at the beginning. Just not good public speaker. Really just had to go trial by fire. And I put the confidence in the fact that if I get a lot of stage time, I will get good. And I still have a lot of focus on that as a comedian, despite doing like virtual stuff, despite doing comedy sketches and all of like the online social content. Most of my confidence is put on the fact that if I walk into a room where it's set up properly, I can go on there and smash, because I do this all the time, always. And like it's just like when you're doing it all the time, always, I'm gonna get better at it.
Of
It's
course.
it's like
Yeah. It's like reps
and
at the gym, right? You get stronger.
yeah,
Yeah.
I also and I care about it so much. Like I wouldn't every time I would go out and bomb, I feel like I learned so much, and every time I was going out, that's what like helped me continue and persist. Is just being like, oh my god, I'm learning so much. I really feel like I'm getting like my master's in comedy by just pursuing this in all of the worst situations. Like
Yeah.
what do you think? No spotlight, no, the mic's cracking out. There's people walking between you and the audience on the stage. I did one show that was literally on a sidewalk
Oh
where
no.
people were walking back and forth, and they had a street patio where the
That's
audience
brutal.
was, and I'm on the other side. And I'd love to say that this was like 2 years in, but no, this was last year when I was in San Francisco. You know
Yeah.
what I
I
mean?
believe
And
that.
then, and I remember, and I think there was one punchline that hit from that I actually go like, oh, I riffed that in that situation, and that might come in handy in later. And luckily, as a comedian, like I that same brain that I had as a child reciting all these comedian jokes,
Yeah.
it's really a brain that just latches to things I think are funny. So you get these little nuggets from different sets throughout the repetitions, and then they become little like tools in your belt for places and directions you can go that are unpredictable to an audience who's seeing you for the first time.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's something that I admire about comedians when I watch them is when they incorporate kind of things that were unexpected or not part of the act into their act. And they make it feel natural, or they at least acknowledge the elephant in the room. And what I mean is that for you at the market brewing company, that speaker was acting up, was making a lot of loud cracking noises, but you incorporated it into your bit. And you kind of actually set the tone for all the other comedians that were coming off after you to do the same, right? Because someone like me that would throw me off, right? Because obviously I'm not a trained comedian, and it's just in my character where it's like this is highly distracting because I'm a highly distracted individual. But you made it funny and you made it part of the act, almost like a prop. And that's what I kind of admired about you, is that you're not just going up there and saying jokes. Like you said, you're kind of working with the audience, working with what you have, being resourceful as well as observant.
Yeah, when you're in the hosting position, you gotta do that. Like, it just makes the show so much better when you talk to the audience. And
Yeah,
like I have my sets where I love it, where it's all set up for me. And if you're gonna go and you're gonna be the middle performer or the closing performer, usually everything's been taken care of, and hopefully you can just kind of do your thing.
exactly.
But as the host, you're more of like the bridge towards this show.
Yeah,
The audience sees you, and you have to take them from regular life into this life where they let their consciousness open up and follow along
you got to
to
use them up. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
No, you got to warm them up, and that's what you did, in my opinion, beautifully, because I felt like everyone was relaxed and the tone was set.